or as all of you know me, Min. I was born and raised in Steamboat Springs, Colorado on July 13th, 2001, and I was flung into the arms of my two amazing parents, Brady and Paul Lister. When I started public school, it slowly changed me. Middle school is an ice age. Many people were cold towards me, and it forced me to build a wall of ice around my heart so I could be strong enough to get a good education out of school. I've been in public school almost my entire life until just this year. I was approached as a 7th grader to be a student in the 8th grade Emerald Mountain School class. When I took my first step up the stairs, I knew this was the place I belonged. Now I have a new school personality, and that wall of ice around my heart, built over a lifetime of comparison and pain, has now started to thaw. So much that I have now reached out even farther to get into a good high school, and I've done just that, because I've been accepted into my top choice, Steamboat Mountain School. First, let me take you to the beginning of the ice age. 6th grade, a rite of passage for a 5th grader. Finally getting to leave the elementary school world, and getting to be around double the people, which means double the friends and double the fun, right? For me, I was completely wrong. My world was turned upside down the second I walked into the middle school. All of the rumors of kids getting shoved into lockers, the lockers themselves, and all of the 8th graders. I walked into the school with high hopes for a new year and a new opportunity. I started off the year right. Good grades, nice clothes, organized locker, I was friendly, yada yada yada. My teachers, Mrs. Kerrigan, or Eileen as we called her, she had an artificial leg and she embraced it too and missed her art. My teachers were actually my favorite part of school. But once the first semester ended, my locker was a mess. I stopped caring about all of my clothes and organization. Now, all I was focused on was making friends. I only had a few that year. Jade, Lily, Dom, on and off again, my neighbor Avery, and my books. I'd also realized that I wasn't going to be shoved into a locker, they were way too small anyways, but most of all, I realized how much I hated the huge class sizes and all of the cliques. Everything just got on my nerves, and everyone knew just how to play those strings around my heart just to make a horrible ear-shattering sound. I was angry all of the time. Not to mention I had shoved away my family, my true friends, and myself from my own world. Everything that happened whizzed past my head. I couldn't tell what I was saying, doing, or even who I was anymore. I worked hard on what I thought was important, and I tried my best to stay focused on school. I had started to build a wall of ice around my heart, blocking off any compliment that I had ever received. Even if it was for the earrings I was wearing, new color of my hair, or my shoes, I just shoved it off, thinking that the person was lying. But now that I look back, I realize that my perception of people was ignorant. I was who I was, and now I am who I am. I was stuck in a rut until school had ended that year, when we had a water fight that got me, my books, and my heart of ice a little warmer, wetter, and a bit happier. I went home that day and wrote out a plan just so I could succeed in 7th grade. My life didn't start in middle school, and it sure as heck is never going to be defined by this small part of my life, compared to all of the opportunities I had been given. So by the end of 6th grade, I worked to become a more outgoing, slightly happier, and even friendlier person. I slid through my 7th grade year with only one true friend, but better relationships with people. I was only 1 year away from this one, this essay, right now. I've come to realize over the past years of my life that my family is the reason why I am who I am. And no, that does not mean I am blaming them. My mom, my favorite person some days, my enemy the next. I love her with all of my heart, and even though we fight sometimes, I would never trade her for someone else. My dad, the crazy one in the family, the smartest dumb person I know. He's amazing, kind, generous, and just the perfect dad for me. I could never have gotten this far in my life without him. My grandmother, or better known as Nana, is one of the biggest influences in my life. She's the reason why I'm so involved in town, and also the reason why I had my first job at 11. My grandfather is the reason why I'm so comfortable around jokesters, and the reason why I can understand sarcasm. I used to take his jokes to heart, but now I know that it's all in good faith. I love my family, and they're some of my best friends. I could never live without them, and I just want to thank you for all of your support. When I came to Emerald Mountain School, I knew this was the one place I belonged. I belong here, and I felt it the second I walked in. I run up the sidewalk, glance at the beautiful carved wooden door, and yank on the door handle. The smell of joy, excitement, and learning fills my nostrils. I take a deep breath, greet the kind, joyful woman at the front desk, Mary Williamson. I ponder what what Dave and Jane had planned for us this fine Thursday morning. I tramp up the long hallway only to see the joyous Michaela sitting on the couch with her face buried in her book. I whip around only to see the unique and extremely rambunctious Finn and Bennett. We talk about plans for the next afternoon, and I know no matter what we do, it'll be fun and exciting. I love those guys. I enter into the art room, spot Dave shuffling papers as usual, and chat up a storm with him until the rest of the class comes in. There's a debate, like usual, over whether we're playing Ninja, Camden's favorite, or variations of Silent Wall. Later in the day, I see Beth, my overall favorite person in the school. Her madness lacks methods. We get into debates over why Full Sail University doesn't have a boat as their emblem instead of a plane. Not to mention that roller coasters are her favorite thing ever, because science. It leaves me in a state of permanent giggles whenever I think about that crazy soon-to-be mother. Then Cindy, who tosses lunchboxes on the floor and runs back and forth from one student to another, freaking out about the way our hands bobble in the air for her to feed our hungry little brains with knowledge about all things math. After lunch, we enter the classroom with the unordinary, organized, and awe-inspiring Lynn. She urges all of us to start our speeches, just to give us a break 10 minutes later. My school day ends with a rambunctious group of Edisons running through the hallway to their parents. And I feel the ice around my heart melt into a measly little cube. The ice that I was developing, putting all of my time into, my effort, just to make sure it was sleek, shiny, and perfect. It's now just a puddle of water. I'm becoming the happy girl my mom and dad love to see. The girl that people want to hang out with, and like to be around. The one true Miriam Blake.